My videographers do that shit all the time, bro. You ready? Yeah. I'm like, all right, throw it the other way. I'm like, you motherfucker, bro. You just fucking said you were ready, dog. I'm like,
what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the First Mill podcast. I'm your host, Ralph Delgado. Today we have a very, very, very special guest in the building. He's a successful entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, and more importantly, someone who has dedicated his life to impact the life of others. Please join me in welcoming Cole Da Silva.
What's up, big dog? How are you?
doing, Cole?
Dude, I'm excited. Came down to Vegas just to kind of visit, and now we're here talking, so I'm excited for it.
Sweet, man. So background on how we got this whole podcast was pretty cool. You were here for Fight Week, right?
Yeah, so we came down for the UFC fights. Originally, we bought floor seats for Conor McGregor. Asshole.
Yeah.
No. Right. Well, we get it. It happens. Regardless, there was no way we're going to refund the tickets because I'm a UFC, mad fanboy.
Same.
I'm obsessed, dude. I know 90% of the fighters. I watch more UFC content than I watch business content on YouTube. It's insane. So we always do these fight nights at the house, and me and my boy decided, okay, we just hit $1 million month in May.
Yeah.
It's time to celebrate. Let's go down and watch the UFC fight. So we came down. We ended up going to Speed Vegas, watched the fights. And then as he left, and I was just chilling because I had a couple podcasts, I just heard your voice yell at me in the fucking hotel and was like, oh, what's up?
Yeah. Sweet, man. So, yeah, I saw you actually. We're having breakfast with my wife. And I noticed you right across. I was like, oh, he's having breakfast. So I was like, I don't want to bother him while he's eating. Right. So you got up and then you started leaving. I told my wife, damn, I didn't get a picture with him. So she just pushed me and told me, go ahead, go ask him for a picture.
Hell yeah, bro.
And that's how I actually went out there. We started talking. I want to say thank you.
Of course.
For giving me this opportunity. And that's kind of what this podcast is about, seizing the opportunity when it comes. We set up this podcast last minute. And again, I do appreciate the opportunity, man. There's a lot of people like this, like how you're so humble enough to really just let's do it.
Well, I'm like,
on Wednesday.
I'm a fucking regular dude. Yeah. And this is the thing. It's still weird because I even kind of get into the mindset where I'll meet people and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I can't believe they gave me that opportunity, and I can't believe they gave me the time of day. And then I sit down with them and have a convo, and I'm like, oh, they're just regular fucking people. Yeah. And as long as it doesn't contradict with their time, people always give me the time of day, so I always give others the time of day. At the end of the day, it was like, we've got one podcast lined up today, a couple other calls that I need to deal with, but I didn't have anything this morning, so I was like, why the fuck would I not take the opportunity that you gave me? You're thanking me, I'm thanking you, because now I have a chance to sit in a cooled AC room, thank you boys, with a beautiful view and get more content and inspire more people before I need to do anything else today.
Yeah.
So it's fucking perfect. This is a great opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you again so much, man. So diving into what you're about. So our podcast is mainly about helping people and giving them hope. And you're a perfect example of that, man. You're a perfect example. I've been watching your content for about 2 years now.
So sick, dude.
I saw when First Form sent you a couple packages too. That was super inspiring because I look up to that company so much as a company, as a business owner. I like what they stand for, their values.
Dude, they're unmatched.
Right, unmatched, man. And once I saw that, I was like, this is the guy, man. This is someone that a lot of people need to know about, need to be inspired by and listen to. Your messages come across very, very transparent.
Yes.
And that's what the world needs. The world needs things like that. So tell us about your background, where you come from, and how everything got started.
Yeah, dude, that's a intense question. There's a lot to do with that. So first and foremost, I totally agree with First Form, hands down. All right, Andy is the fucking G. Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I was fangirling like a motherfucker when he first followed me on Instagram.
Crazy,
and then we just got connected because I was like, hell yeah, bro. Because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of people I look up to. There's not a lot of people I absorb content with and watch, but Andy is definitely one. So I definitely feel you on that one. So I grew up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, 807, tattooed on my neck. I got a tattooed on my neck to remind me of some of the dark things and the good things that happened in my hometown, Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Left when I was around 18 years old, 19 years old. We actually went on a road trip, and this is funny. I've always been an individual that goes 100% all in. I've never done anything half-assed. I've never been a person who's like, let me just dip my toes in and feel it out. I'm always either 100% in or not in at all. So when I turned 19 years old, we took a road trip from Thunder Bay to Calgary, Alberta. Now, for all of you Americans, you probably have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. It's okay. Just thinking about it this way, it's a 27-hour drive.
Okay.
Usually. We did it in 32. Why? Because, yes, I'm not proud of this. We were drinking the entire time. and we were picking up hitchhikers and getting them fucking hammered and then dropping them off at their destination. It was hilarious. We also did geocaching. And if you don't know what geocaching is, it's such a fucking fun thing to do if you're road tripping with your family, because you're a family man now. You can look it up on your phone, download it. This isn't a sponsored thing, by the way. It's just the coolest thing ever. And there's like hidden treasure things all over the world. So if you download it right now, geocache, and you search it up and you create a team, you could probably find a bunch of hidden treasure things all over Las Vegas. And you find it, you put something down, you take something from it. It's just a fun game. So we did a 32-hour road trip, got hammered the whole time. Literally, we're only going to Calgary to party. So we got to Calgary, we partied like crazy. Turns out that I spent a lot more time with my half siblings than I thought I was going to, because I actually am the middle child of 5. I have 2 half siblings, older brother and older sister, and then 2 younger brothers. So when I got to Calgary, that's where they resided. So when I got there to just party, I spent a little bit more time with them than I thought I was going to. And when it came down to leaving, my older brother just basically gave me a bitch slap. And he's like, why the hell are you going back? I was like, well, why would I not? All my friends are there. I have no life here. I have no job here. He's like, you don't have a life there. You're drinking or doing drugs all the time. You work at Walmart as an overnight stalker. Like, you don't have a life there. Why would you not stay here? And I was like, well, why would I? And he's like, well, if I can get you a job, will you stay in Calgary? I was like, okay, bet. Like, let's see. So he literally got me an interview as an iron worker, laborer. I walked in, my interview, I shit you not, was, can you pick up that beam? I was like, okay. Picked up the beam, and he's like, you're hired, $18 an hour. So we took a full road trip, and then on a drop of a dime, I left everybody. And I told them to drive home without me, and I stayed in Calgary. And that was it. That was technically like the start of me being pushed into the life that was created today. Because even though it didn't happen right away, and I became an iron worker and did that for around 3 years, I think, because my timeline is so construed due to my addictions and everything that happened. If that didn't happen, if that road trip didn't happen, I would not be sitting here today.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you don't come from someone with money or anything like that, right? No. So about that, your childhood, how was it? Like, you were raised lower class?
It was a lot. I like to try to pivot the way that I explain it now.
Okay.
And the reason why is because for a long time I would only end up fixating on the negativity. And I feel like that's what we do as human beings, especially people who have like come up and made something of themselves. We are consistently looking at the negative things that happen, when we also need to look at the positive things, because for every negative memory there is a positive one. But yeah, we had a lot of shit happen when I was a kid.
Okay.
All right. We grew up lower middle class, which was weird to me and was always something that made me very angry because it didn't compute in my mind. My dad was a Red Seal crane operator. He traveled the world, got time and a half. And once I got into construction, it made me even more mad and more frustrated that we didn't have money when I was a kid to be able to have the life we wanted as children. When I know how much those motherfuckers make. So it never computed in my brain as to where the money was going and what was happening. So we moved around 6-7 times before I was the age of 15, if I'm not mistaken. When we landed in our last home in the country, it was 45 minutes out in the country outside of Thunder Bay. And don't get me wrong, beautiful property. All right. It was actually 150 acres, but we were living in a 800 square foot trailer. All right. Again, living on a well. So multiple times my brothers and myself would have to bathe in 4 inches of bath water because we couldn't refill our well. We didn't have the money to do so. I remember going from grocery store to grocery store, Goodwill to Goodwill, to get deep freezes so we could fill it up with a bunch of meat so we didn't have to buy groceries because we didn't have the money to continue to buy groceries. So there's just a lot of things in my childhood that created stress, and stress led to anger, and anger led to a lot of violence, whether it was verbally or physically, throughout my entire family. Not just from my parents down. I'm talking about between me and my brothers. It was the only way that we understood how to converse. Like, there are crazy stories, and we joke about it now, thankfully. Like, it's actually something that's like really near and dear to my heart, being able to communicate with my brothers and have like deep conversations, because whenever I tell people about the fights that we had, man, like, people are like, how the fuck are you guys talking to each other still? Like, how are you guys alive? Like, there's fights where I remember getting uppercutted in the solar plex, having a glass dog dish smashed over my face, and then soccer kicked in the stomach, and then like just left on the floor, spitting out and fucking blood and shit. And then just up next day, dap them up. What's up, bro? And everything was good to go. Mm-hmm.
So you guys had a very, very tough upbringing, you would say.
See, and that's the thing. I'm like, I'd say tough, but then also like
it's made you what you are.
It's
now.
contextual, right? Because I'm like, I know a lot of people that grew up way harder than me.
Agree.
Way fucking harder than me with way less money than me. And that's where I'm like, the older I get, the more I'm trying to change my definition of it. Because we did have a good childhood. Okay. We were spoiled in our own right. But it was also like we were spoiled and then the shit was taken away. And there was so much up and down that it really triggered our minds and like altered the way that we looked at life.
Got it. And I listened to one of your videos recently, and you talk about healing, right? So with that, do you feel like because a lot of us come from homes that are very not your common home, that like that. So for you to be able to be where you're at now, do you feel like you had to heal that process? All that, the childhood and all those transitions. How do you feel about that? Because I know you talk about that. We don't like talking about this too much. Yeah. But I think it is something that a lot of people need to hear, because as men too, or I would say as men, we don't want to express our feelings.
Never.
Much, right? We don't want to hold it in, and it's like we'll push it out the gym.
Yeah.
But I think for us to be present as family men,
I agree.
As leaders in companies, as leaders in a group, we definitely need to heal ourselves.
I agree.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, 100%. So I didn't do the traditional healing that I feel like a lot of people talk about, like through therapy and more. I tried therapy. I tried hypnotherapy. All sessions led me to tell the therapist to go fuck themselves. Now, that might have been me being like an insecure baby boy at the time, or not understanding how to deal with my emotions, but it didn't compute as to what they were trying to get me to explain and dissect for them. Like I did hypnotherapy. And I don't know if you've ever done that. Have you?
Hypnotherapy? No.
So it's just a more extended version of therapy where they make you like look internally, and it's a version of like hypnosis and therapy put together. I've got a bunch of friends that love it and live by it. And I went there after I did therapy because I didn't love how the therapist continued to talk about the same thing and asked me about a bunch of memories that I didn't understand, that I couldn't compute with. So sitting in the hypnotherapy session, all right, my eyes are closed. I was like centered, deep breathing. She's like, okay, you're in a ball. And the ball's flying through space, Cole, and it meets the younger you. How's the younger you feeling? And I'm like, bitch, hungry. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, you asking me about a question from a 6-year-old who doesn't remember shit. Yeah. What are you fucking talking about right now? And it made no sense to me. So it was like, after having experience after experience after experience like that, I was like, fuck therapy, man. I'm just going to do the work like I need to do. Yes. All right. So I started asking my friends. And I will always give her credit for this. Her name is Natasha Starcheski. She actually lives in Vegas right now. One of my nearest and dearest friends used to work with us in our company as well. When I became a father, I was extremely overwhelmed. Like violently overwhelmed. Didn't attack my son, didn't attack Julia, didn't attack anybody else. I didn't understand how to deal with the emotions though. So like I broke shit in the house 100%. I would separate myself from the family and I'd like bawl and break down and go through it. Because even though I did a lot of healing when it comes down to like 2016 to 2021, 2022, I transformed a lot in that period with me just being with Julia and growing as a man. Like it's a different fucking breed when you have a kid. Like, and if you don't have a kid, you have no idea what I'm talking about, right? You have children?
No, not yet.
Right? It unlocks something in you. Like there's deeper shit that comes out. So when I had him and he was screaming and losing it and teething and we're waking up in the middle of the night, it unlocked a lot of the shit that I was bearing, that I didn't want to face. So I started hearing, and again, I still love my mom and dad, but I started hearing them in the back of my head. I heard the statements, shut the fuck up, kid, or I'll give you something to cry about. And I went back to my roots of like, okay, well, I can't lead like that, or I'm just going to pass the same violence down to him. So what do I need to do? And to Natasha's credit, she said, you need to learn how to sit in the emotion and let it work through you. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? She's like, sit in the emotion. As a man who's been able to take himself from drug addiction to millionaire status, you're very good at brooding through and fixing any problem, but you can't just fix this. She's like, you need to learn how to live between the margins of feminine and masculine energy. So sit in it. So for around like 3-4 weeks, it was brutal, dude. Like my wife was crying, all right, not understanding how she was going to help me because she saw me struggling so much. But around 3 to 4 weeks, I would just hold my son and he'd be like bawling and freaking out and stuff like that because he's a baby. All right. He has no idea. And he just literally entered the world. And I would just be bawling and fucking like pure eyed and just like literally it looked like a ball of rage. And I sat in it, and Julia would come to help, and I would listen to Natasha and everybody else's advice, and I'd tell Julia to politely fuck off. Like, leave me alone. I need to deal with this. Then around like 3 to 4 weeks, dude, my wife came out of the bedroom, and I'm just holding baby boy while he's crying and cooking food. And it was just like a switch moment where it was just like, okay, I now understand that I need to allow things to flow through me. All right. I'm not supposed to just stop everything and then fix it right in that moment. Does that make sense?
Total sense,
right?
Man.
And it was like it's this weird euphoria feeling where it's like my fixing of emotion, my healing of emotion was done through facing my own shit, like actually sitting in it. I also did it was like a little mindset spin course, whatever the case may be, with an individual. I wish I remembered his fucking name because we didn't connect deeply. We only did a couple calls. But he said something that was very funny, and it's an exercise that everybody can do. It's like, if you struggle with a certain emotion, what I want you to do is for 10 minutes a day, go into a separate room where there's no phone, no TV, no people, no nothing. And for 10 minutes a day, make yourself feel that way. So if you deal with anger, just go in that room and get angry. Within a week, what do you think is going to happen?
Tired of it.
100%. You're going to be like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. So like, why am I doing it? Yep. So my shit was always through just doing the work. Like, I was able to quote unquote heal, even though again, it's a hippy dippy type of way to looking at it, through facing my shit. Like, why am I feeling this way? Yes. Let me make an adjustment. It was the same thing when I met my wife. Within 3 years, dude, we almost broke up 4 times because she's like, I want kids. And then it reached a point where she gave me an ultimatum, and she's like, I want children. And now you're saying that you don't want them. If you don't want them, I'm leaving you. And we had like a very deep talk. And for 2 weeks in a 600 square foot apartment where we lived together in Calgary, Alberta, we didn't speak at all. Wow. At all. But it's because, I needed to do the work. So I sat down and I was like, why am I scared of having kids? Well, I'm scared of having kids because all the dark memories. So then I needed to start bringing the good memories up. Like, okay, my childhood wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. So let me look at the good things that happened. Got it. Let me take the good traits and leave the bad traits at home. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And this is cool to see because you're on the journey.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You're on the journey every day of healing, right? And you're successful. You know, you were successful, you said, between the ages of, the years of 2006, 2002, before you had your son, right? And you were healing some type of way, but I think it was more for yourself, I would say. And now when you unlocked being a father, it's like a whole different,
it's
I can imagine it, man. Everything just comes out, your childhood, just all of it, just once you have your baby,
like a wave.
Yes, like just everything. And it's like, okay, so now what the hell am I gonna do? Right? And it's cool to see and you sharing this, that you're still in that process.
Always.
You're still in the process of healing.
You'll never stop.
That's I think that's key there. That's key, because I think most of us want to like heal and okay, we're fixed. You have that mindset like we're fixed, but it's not like that.
No, and like I know I could be doing even more. Yeah. Like, I've got a lot of very enlightened, for lack of a better term, friends who are extremely into therapy and hypnotherapy and breath work and all of these different things that they do, that I don't want to say that I'm against or I'm like standoffish to. I just don't have a want to go down certain paths when it comes to that stuff. Yeah. So I just do my healing in a different way. I agree. I allow myself to feel the things that are coming up, and then I address why I'm feeling them, and I look internally. And there's always a new memory that pops up that I need to address. There's always a new thing that I need to face. There's always a new emotion that I need to work through, and it's an ever-going battle. Right? It's not like, and it's not a bad battle. It's not something negative. You're a human being, right? And there's going to be things that randomly surface. Like, I was driving with my wife, and the song 27 by MGK came on. Do you know that song? Yeah. Dude, that to this day, if you play that song around me, I'll cry. Yeah. And the reason why is because when I was around 18 to 21 years old, when I was peak drinking like crazy, doing drugs like they were fucking going out of style and everything else, I would say verbatim, I'll be okay if I make it to 25. I don't care about living past, because I didn't see a future. So when it came down to like creating something after 27, I was like, holy shit. And it like created this different euphoria emotion in my mind.
Nice, man. And wow, it's intense, man. Like the whole process of healing and these memories that just come flooding. Share more about like your current experience right now, what you're going through with your kids. I love that, man. As a future father.
Bruh.
Like, how is that, man? And I know you have to be so present, and I like the fact that you say you sit in your emotions. I love that. Like, I think as problem solvers and as business owners, because a lot of our audiences are entrepreneurs, what we want to do is like, we're like firefighters. We want to put the fires right away. Yeah. But sitting in the emotions and being better for our children, for our families, I think that's super
100%. And it's like, again, everybody's got their own way to dealing with shit. Like, my default emotion is anger.
Yes.
Like, I get violent very quickly. And that's
dark side?
Oh, dude, 100. I live in the dark side. Okay. Like, I literally live in the darkness. That's how I operated my entire life. That's how I've been able to see all my success.
Still use it?
All the time. But I also understand that there's only so much fuck you energy that you can operate from before you need to pivot your focus. Okay. Right? So when it came down to me slowly making the pivot, I just needed to understand, like, okay, if I don't learn how to separate the anger, all right, from like the emotional side, family side, and the business side, my kid is going to grow up the same way I did when there's no fucking reason he has to. And that's the thing that was big for me. Like, the way we all grew up, my siblings and my parents, like, there was a lot of anger, frustration, like violence, verbally, physically, across the board. But it was almost like needed for us to get out of the situation, for us to be able to grow into the individuals we are today across the board. Like, for my parents, we're all getting closer now. We talk all the time. I'm fucking bringing my parents to Portugal with us when we go in a couple of weeks. Like we've molded the relationships again, right? But there's no reason my son has to deal with that shit. The lifestyle is not even fucking close to the same, right? He'll never understand struggle at all. So I was like, why the hell would I take my childhood emotions and give it to him when he's not going to have anywhere near the same life? He doesn't need that fucking grit anger to get through his childhood because he's not going to have the same problems to face. So
are you worried about him not having those struggles?
Always. Yeah. And that's another thing that you're going to have to learn how to deal with too, bro. Cause it's weird, but like, having a kid is the coolest shit in the world. Yeah. Right. But I'm also very blunt in the aspect of like, it's also the most annoying fucking thing out there. Okay. Like, I'm not a dad. I'm not a parent who's going to like sugarcoat or like hide anything. Like, it was funny when we first had the kid, I posted up videos of him and people are like, oh my God, isn't it cute when they cry? Like, no, motherfucker, it's annoying as shit. What do you mean? It's 3 a.m. Shut the fuck up. Like, I love you, but no, it's not funny. No, it's not cute. It pisses me off. Yep. Like, I never understood why parents don't just stand on game. Yep. Just tell the truth. It's not fun, bro. It's super exhausting. It's overwhelming as hell. It's going to piss you off like crazy. But, and the but is massive, it's the coolest shit in the world. Like, it's so dope. I love what I do. I love motivating people. I love that I've been able to make as much money as we have. Seeing him do shit is like, it'll literally make you break down and cry. And you hear parents say it all the time and you never believe it until you are. And it's the cheesiest bullshit ever, but it's so true. Cause like, dude, watching him learn how to speak now, like he's now learning certain words. He just randomly heard my wife, Julia, say bagel the other day. And then he's like, bagel. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit. And so then you're running around the house and stuff. Yeah. Like, it's super cool to see that. And it's understanding how to balance all the hats while making sure that they get the best version of you. But I'm also indifferent to spending every minute of my time with him. Like, the goal is to create the best life for him and turn him into the best man possible. So, but I'm not going to sacrifice everything else in order to do so.
Got it, man. And that's really cool to see that you're able to balance. That's very inspiring. I don't have kids yet, right? So I get these comments like, well, you'll watch when you have kids. You won't pay that much attention to your business. You won't pay much attention to yourself. You're going to get... Well, right now, I run marathons and things like that. I'm always working out, right? And then they think I'm going to sacrifice that. And I'm like way more motivated. I'm like, when I have kids, I'm going to go like 1,000% even harder. I believe that, right? What do you feel?
How open can I get here?
100% open.
Pussies. Yeah. Straight the fuck up, dude. Like, that, I'm not even, there's no other way for me to break it down. And this is where I get like very annoyed. Very annoyed. Talk about that, man, and don't get me wrong, right? My kid's fucking, about to be 2 years old, and we're about to have another one. I have no idea. And we're not pregnant yet. We're planning. We're planning. I got to be very specific there. I want another one really bad. Okay. We're planning it out. Okay. And again, I don't know what it's like to have a bunch of teenagers. But the whole society mentality of when you have kids, the rest of your life is going to get pushed away because your kid becomes the main focus and your goals die is a bitch made mentality. It's fucking stupid. You can do whatever you want with the kid. And I say it all the time. Your kid should be your reason, not your fucking excuse. They should be the reason why you wake up early, why you go to the gym, why you push your mind, why you work on your business, why you become the best version of self, because your kid deserves that version of you. It's just true. Now, again, I also get in shit because people are like, well, what am I supposed to do when I work anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day? And then I get home and I got to be there for them. Do all of that. And then when they go to sleep, work on the shit you need to work on. Well, I'm tired. No one gives a fuck. Delete Netflix off your fucking computer, off your TV, off your phone. And when the kids go to sleep, work on the business that you want to build. When your kids go to sleep, do a 30-minute workout in your house and stop being a fat fuck. Yep. Like I will fight with anybody tooth and nail because I know what it's like to see the other version. I know what it's like to see the parent who does the bullshit that they're all saying. I'm a dad who does everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I've set myself up for that. And I was bullish in that. When me and Julia spoke about kids, I said, we will not start to have kids to try to have kids until we are set up properly. Then July 2019, I retired her from her job. She never has to work again ever in her life. All right. And then I told her when we do have a kid, all right, and when he is here, I'm going to be getting a nanny so you could spend time working on yourself, your mindset, and your fucking body as much as you want on a weekly basis. So now we have a nanny 3 days a week.
Yep. And that's to be present, to be the best version as a mother, as a father.
Yeah.
You need all these things.
And don't get me wrong. Like some people won't be able to do that. Yeah. You might not have the money for a nanny. You might not have the money to retire your wife. You might not have the money to be at home with your children. I get that. But it is no excuse to not do the shit that you need to do. Every fucking person in this world has the time to do a 30-minute workout a day. And I said a day, by the way, not 4 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week, 7 days of the week, do 30 minutes of exercise. It doesn't mean you got to do resistance training every single day because you do got to rest and you got to let your body recover. You can do a 30-minute walk. Me and Julia do a walk with my kid every day for 15 minutes, no matter what. No matter what. It's a necessity. It happens, period. Then I train 5 days a week. I do boxing 6 days a week. Julia trains 3-4 times a week and does yoga. Do the fucking shit.
Excuse.
There's no excuse. Anybody who says that to you is a fucking beta.
Exactly.
Like it's such a stupid mentality of when you have kids, your dreams die. Yeah. Bullshit. When you have kids, you got to become more relentless. Sacrifice your sleep, sacrifice your weekends, stop hanging out with your fucking friends that just want to drink at the barbecue, sit on their fucking ass in the lawn chairs and watch your kids run around and play. I despise the parent that goes to the park and sits on the bench as a fat, lazy person instead of playing with their children. I despise the parent who doesn't give the kid the life that they know they should because it's hard. Life is hard. And you're making it harder on your child because you're choosing to not do the work necessary. 100%. We see it every day.
Yeah.
The obesity epidemic in the States is like, what, 60 to 67% of people here? Are you fucking kidding me?
It's crazy.
Right?
Yes, it's insane. It's insane. And like, that's the whole point of this podcast is just to bring realness like that. We need to hear that blunt stuff. Like it is for pussies.
Bro.
It really is. It's like you cannot come up to someone and say, oh, watch or not, you have kids to be different. No, I'm going to be more present.
You are.
A perfect example of that.
Yeah, dude.
Perfect example. I love
and
that.
like, this is the thing though. It's, what's your definition of presence? Right?
Yeah.
Is it fucking sitting there and being with your kid 24/7, but also playing on your phone? Or are you actively playing with your kid? Yeah. Because the definition of presence to me is when I am with my family, I am 100% focused on them and nothing else. Yep. That also means my business is taken care of. I feel good about my body. The bills are 100% covered and there's nothing that we need to worry about. So when my presence is with my family, it is actually there.
Even if it's not long periods of time, sometimes
100%,
an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, but as long as you're 100% mentally there, spending time with him, that's the value. That's what I remember growing up as a kid. I grew up very loving family. So I remember even my dad just being present for 30 minutes, an hour, and to me that seemed like the whole day.
Yes,
you know, as a kid, it's just the whole day, and you have the other side of it where you're saying, you know the side where there's not that much sometimes love. There's a lot of, frustration at home.
Yeah.
You understand that too. So the way that you're explaining it, I like it because it comes from a different perspective. Like we both come from different paths, right?
Yeah.
And we both get to see what works, and it's about being present in those moments.
100%, dude. Like the mentality of when you have kids, you have to be more present with them, so everything else takes a back seat. Will never compute in my brain. It'll never compute in my brain. I understand the mentality of it because you guys want to be good parents. Everybody wants to be a good parent. But in my opinion, a good parent doesn't neglect their goals and their health just to sit around with their kids. Because again, presence with your children doesn't come from neglecting your health just to sit on the fucking bench at the park because you can't run around with them. How does that make sense? Yep. Right? Well, I'm being present. I don't have time to go to the gym. What the fuck? Yep. What do you think that they would like more? You being able to run around with them for an hour and actually play ball, or you sit at the park for 4 or 5 hours
watching them play.
just watching them play.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
It's way just a weird mentality.
Way more value to be with them, interacting with them, and things like that.
100%. Dude, me and Julia went to New York last year with Cade. But, dude, my son is about to turn 2 years old, and he's been to 9 countries or some shit. Like, we traveled all over the world already. And when we went to New York, we got the stroller. Bro, if we weren't fit parents, we'd be fucked.
Yep.
We took the subway everywhere. We had to carry him up every single set of stairs. It's not like 4 or 5 stairs. Have you ever been in New York?
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane.
The
fucking stairways are crazy. We had to like bring them through like the tills.
Everything's all
it's
small
mental,
too.
bro. If we were overweight parents, unfit parents, we're screwed.
Yeah, you walk a shit ton there too.
Yeah, bro. It's people need to put themselves first a little bit.
I love that, man.
When you put yourself first, your family benefits.
I love it, man. Love it. Let's transition a little bit into your journey and how you got into entrepreneurship. I want to go back to you talk about drug abuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so for everyone out there, super successful man, and we're gonna hear this story, and I love it because we come from, most of our audience comes from a very low income community. Where I come from, it's called Wilmington, California. It's a harbor area in LA. So we see this all the time. We see this, and I think your story will resonate a lot with our audience. I want to talk about your drug addiction all the way to where you're at now.
I love it.
Super, super inspiring.
So it started with the road trip, right? Got to Calgary, Alberta, became an iron worker. I'm like, this is my chance to get out of my old life, because my old life was just partying. It was experimenting with drugs. It was really just not wanting to remember the next day. Not because I hated myself, but just because that's the life that we grew up in. That's what we were focused on. So I got to Calgary and I'm like, this is going to be the difference, right? Because I don't know anybody. It's a fresh start. But I'm also not a very extroverted person in the aspect of like, I'm not just going to walk up to a random person, start a conversation to build a friendship. I'm good at connecting. Like I was able to connect with you when the connection is there and when someone says something. So when I got to Calgary, I became an instant introvert loner right away. So I would work 10 to 12 hours outside as an iron worker, an MBSE iron worker, non-union. So I'd build the building, stand the steel, clad it, roof it, trim it, leave. That's what we did. As soon as we were done that, I'd go straight to the bar because that was the only way I could connect with my coworkers, and the people that I knew were my coworkers. That was it, even though I was living with my sister on her couch at the time. And I would drink until midnight, 1 a.m., and then I'd go home. Now, again, I say I was an iron worker for 3 years, but you'll always see me make a face when I say that because I don't remember how long it was. Like to this day, I don't remember when I started or when I ended it. It could have been fucking 9 months. Like it literally makes no sense. My timeline is so construed because I drank so much and I ended up getting addicted to Percocets in that time. The reason why is because, and the best way I can explain it is, you've played baseball before?
No, I play sports stuff, play soccer.
Right? Oh, see, you might, have you ever swung a hammer and hit something and had the rattle through your hands?
Yeah.
Okay, so there, I always say baseball. You know how it hurts like a motherfucker and you're like, oh, and your hand like feels like it's going to break off? Picture that all day because you're swinging sledgehammers against steel. You're utilizing massive impacts and impacting like 3-4 inch bolts together. You're using spud wrenches to bring the steel together. So it's all gripping. Even right now, my hands are tight. You can hear them crack when I go like this. I started to develop carpal tunnel and arthritis in my forearms at like 22, 21 years old because of how hard we were grinding. And I was a brute. Like I always want to be the best person. So when I got in that field, I was making $18 an hour as a laborer. And then my old boss, his name's Kevin, by the way, OG Scottish man, shorter than me, angry as fuck. We almost got in like 30 fights, but he was hilarious. I love him, dog. He's like heavy Scottish accent, bro. Yeah. I love him though. To this day, if I saw him in the street, we're connecting. I love this motherfucker. He hired like 3 journeymen. They taught me a bunch of tricks, and then he fired them. Because then he could pay me less money, and then I started basically running the crew. I was doing a bunch of stuff, and I was that brute. Like, I just wanted to get the job done. So I would always do it the harder way, the quicker way, rather than the easier, smarter way. So like even the cladding for the sheets, they've got a couple attachments where you can grip it on. Yeah. Then the lift does all the heavy work. Fuck that, homie. I would just grab the sheet, brute that 200-pound sheet up in the air, slam it on the wall, banging it with screws. Yeah. And we were some of the fastest cladders out there because of that. Same thing with roofing. But I developed carpal tunnel and arthritis. So I went to the doctor and I started to ask them questions. I'm like, I'm waking up with my hands as chicken feet. I'm like, I can't move my fucking fingers in the morning. What do I do? Like, my sister would have to help me work my forearms out to like start opening my hands. She saw it all the time. I was in crazy pain. And the doctors are like, just take some ibuprofen, you'll be all right. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dog? I can't work. Like, I'm 21, 22. I can't work. What do you mean? So I went to doctor after doctor. They basically all just told me the same thing. So I was like, fine, I'll figure it out myself. Yeah. And one of my friends on the work site, I'm gonna keep his name out of it whenever I tell this story, he had perks. So I was like, yo, you want a perk? And I was like, well, what do they do? And he's like, they just help with pain, help you feel like a little bit loose, relaxed. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I took a Percocet. I'm like, oh, this is great. As my forearms start to feel a little bit loose. So I took another one. And then before you knew it, my maintenance level was 4 to 5 a day. Every day, 7 days a week, 30 days a month. That's just what I would do. I would carry around 100 in my pocket at all times. And my blackout point was 7. When I hit 7, I'd black out and I wouldn't remember the day. And it wasn't like I was doing this while sitting on my ass. I was working. So I would be driving the machinery around, cladding, roofing, climbing steel, setting up purlings, all that shit. So the regular routine would be chew up 2 Percocets, chug a king size Red Bull, and then I'd take around a perk an hour or a perk every 2 hours throughout the entire workday. And then we'd go straight to the bar. We'd drink till 1 a.m. I'd sleep for a couple hours. We'd wake up to do it again. And that was just my regular routine. And that just became me.
Wow. So you were consuming them that much.
Oh, yeah.
Out of necessity, you would say?
Well, it started out of a necessity because I was like, I need something for my hands. And I was like, this helped me with my hands. Yeah. But then it just became like, I liked feeling that way. It just numbed me out. So there was no emotion. Like, I still remember there was one story. We were working outside. It's around, I would say, like 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. No idea what your guys' bogus temperature is. And that it makes no sense to me. But it was around 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. So it's cool outside, right? And it's raining. So it was chilly. And all my coworkers are looking at me because I'm working through the break, the 15-minute coffee break, because I don't drink coffee anyways. I wasn't hungry. They're looking at me, drill sheets, all right, holes in sheets for the wall when we're about to clad it. And I'm wearing my harness in a wife beater, all right, hard hat on, in the rain, 3 to 5 degrees in there. And I'm steaming because of how hot my body was, because how high I was. Yeah. And my buddy came out, his name was Justin, and he's like, dude, you need to put a jacket on. He's like, people are freaking the fuck out right now. He's like, they see you and they have no idea what's going on. Cause I was just zombie. I hadn't eaten in like 9 hours at that point. I was just grinding it out because it just turned me into a brute. Yeah. Like, I would show up, we get it done, and it was just straight dog mentality, and I would just get the work done. It didn't matter at all.
Is that when you realized like,
no, it happened for a long time after that. Yeah. And it just reached a point after like friends coming to Calgary, Alberta, us partying like crazy, embarrassing story after embarrassing story, trying to get in this fight, people are recording me hearing my voice. And there was a couple different instances. One instance, my buddies were like, yo, we recorded you. Do you want to see the video? And I was like, fuck no. But they played me and I heard the audio of my voice and I was incredibly embarrassed. I got angry at myself for putting myself in that place. That didn't spark the change instantly, but it was in my brain for always. And then there was another story where me and a coworker got into it. He was like a 60-year-old man, gout in both feet. He had to take extra strength roll backs to set, but he wouldn't take them because he hated the feeling. And whenever I ran out of Percocets, he would give them to me. So I'd go from eating like 4 to 7 plus perks a day to like 20 to 30 extra strength roll backs to set a day because they had a little bit of codeine. And if I was running out of perks, that was what I would utilize. But me and him got into it one day, and I remember watching him slam the door of the Zoom boom. That's what we called it, the big ass like forklift to lift steel. And when he slammed the door, he broke it. So he couldn't get out and he couldn't climb through the window because of the gout in his feet. So he was just stuck in there for like fucking 2 hours, losing it, bro. Yeah. And when I looked at that and I saw him, I'm like, yo, that's going to be me. Like I drink every day. I do drugs like a fucking fountain. Yeah. I'm angry as fuck all the time. I have no purpose. I feel super lost. And so it was like a combination of so many things that piled up. And then one day I just was like, I'm sick of this shit, dude. Like, I'm done. So I dumped the perks that I had down the toilet. Quick cold turkey. I was like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm not doing it anymore. And I got into fitness. And the reason why fitness became the path that I was taking is because I was $20,000 plus in debt. I had no friends that I could rely on. I had friends, but like not people that you would call up if you needed anything. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Didn't have a girl at the time. Was still living with my siblings, either on their couches. 20... in the range of like 21 and 23. Okay.
You're making good money, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was making around $5,000 to $6,000 a month, but had nothing. Yeah, it would go straight into overdraft. Oh yeah, gone. Like fucking everything was getting spent. No, like zero savings. $20,000 in debt. I had a $3,000 overdraft because I yelled at my bank because I kept going over my shit and fucking spending all my money. And then fitness just became the outlet because I was like, I can't control anything else in my life right now. I'm stuck in this career, but I can control what I put in my fucking mouth.
So fitness started changing your life.
Fitness was the main focus. So I ended up hiring this random guy named Joseph Rakic Fitness. He had an app. It was like $14.99. I did that for around 6 months, eating on Tupperware containers, working out. And then, funny enough, the same dude who introduced me to Percocets told me that his girlfriend's brother had this coach, and I should talk to him because they saw how I was in fitness. Like I transformed very quickly. So I called him up. Turns out that coach is now my business partner, my best friend, fucking neighbor back in Kelowna as well. And I joined his fucking team. Within 6 months, we won my first fitness competition, first in overalls. I told him I want to be a coach on his team. He said, if you win your next competition and you get certified, I'll bring you on as a trainer. He did not have a spot for me. He did not know how he was going to train me. Yeah. He had no idea what he was going to do. He was just like, I'm just going to give him all these hoops. Yeah. He ain't going to do none of it, and I'll be good to go. Then I got certified. And I fucking won my second show first in overalls while still working as an iron worker 10 to 12 hours outside in the fucking cold weather. So I literally would wake up in the morning, go work outside as an iron worker 10 to 12 hours outside, go straight to the gym for an hour and a half. I'd then go box because I've always been into boxing for around an hour and a half. Then I'd study my PT certification through ISSA. I'd get home, I'd sleep for around 4 to 6 hours, and I'd just do it again and again and again. Won my second show. In total, it was a year. My first show was 6 months of prep. Then my second show was 6 months of prep. And then I won my second show first in overalls, and my boy brought me onto the team.
Oh, nice, man. I didn't know that part. That's that you've competed in everything. You've
won. I've done 3 shows, and I've won 3 first in overalls. And then I did a 4th show in 2021, and I lost to the guy just because I wasn't big enough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Nice, man. So you got into personal training after that? Yeah,
so the second show, as soon as I got brought onto the team, it was around 4 months later after I got brought into the team, I think, and again, I would have to look at the actual dates of my emails and stuff. I quit my ironworking job, and I went up north to become a personal trainer. Full-time, and I quit within 3 months because I was like, this is fucking dog shit. Yeah. So the pay is garbage. The hours are garbage. People treat you like garbage. This is not what I signed up for.
You're talking about personal training.
Yeah, bro. I fucking hated it. I was like, this is fucking dog shit. Yeah. Well, and the reason why is because, again, before I became a PT in the gym, I got brought on to an online coaching team. Yeah. So I'm watching my boys make like $5,000 to $10,000 plus a month, and they're training all these people. I was trained from an online coach. Yeah. So I was like, okay. Then I got called up by a guy up in a camp I used to work at. And he's like, listen, we're looking for personal trainers. Do you want to quit your ironworking job and become a PT? I was like, well, I've only got one online client. Like, this is a good way to get experience. Fuck it. I quit that ironworking job, went up north because I'm like, this will give me PT experience. Yeah. And then one day we're all at the bar. My wife still argues with me about this to this day. And me and Brian are 100% right. She's fucking wrong. We were all at Cactus Club, 100%. And I was bitching, bro. I'm like, they fuck me. They don't pay for my flights. They don't pay for my hotel. They told me they were going to pay me this. I'm only making $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. This is fucking trash. Blah, 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 blah. And Brian's like, quit. He's fucking hammered, right? Yeah. Quit. Fuck him. And Julia's like, give me a look like, don't you quit your fucking job, dog. And then I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, dude, I got you. He's like, just trust me. He's like, I got you. We'll make sure that happens. And I had one online client at the time. And I looked at Julia and I was like, what do you think? And she's like, I believe in you. She's like, if you quit, I'm good. She's like, I'll cover our expenses for 3 months, because we were living in one of their parents' apartments. So we only had $600 a month to pay. She's like, I'll cover it for 3 months. And she's like, I believe in you. I think you could do it. And I looked at Brian and he's like, I've got you. We will make it happen. So I was like, fuck it. Quit. One online client. Every single fucking day we spent in a coffee shop. He taught me how to count macros, build training programs, do all the shit that he was doing for online training. And within 3 months, I hit 10K. And then we just started scaling, bro. Within like a year, I was his business partner. After I became his business partner, we scaled the business up to a consistent $57,000 to $63,000 a month organically. And we were just taking over, helped transforming like thousands of people all over Canada.
Wow. What was the peak that you guys had as far as clients at one
At one point, I think we had around 600 between all trainers. Wow. Personally, Brian and myself, I think at peak, he was around 100 and I was around 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 100 lives transformed all through online.
Oh, dude, thousands. Oh, yeah, thousands. That was active at one time,
Okay, at one
right?
time,
But we got to think, like, even with our current business, PT Domination, right now we have, if I'm not mistaken, 1,600 students between our 4 levels.
Yeah.
But we've served 7,000 since we started the business. Yeah.
It's very, very successful already.
That's cool,
That's
bro.
awesome how you guys grew it. And then after that, how did you get into the content creation? Was it with the journey? Or
Dude, the content was way later.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So, like, not really. If you go to my Instagram, Coleluis Da Silva, you scroll way down, you're going to see a bunch of cringy ass fitness content, right? I mean, being a fitness coach, but I only ever generated, 20,000 followers at that time. And I'm not even going to lie, around 5,000, maybe 6,000 of those followers were from giveaways. Like celebrities that I knew, or people being like, yo, I'll shout you out and you'll get a bunch of followers. And I'm like, dope, bro. Sounds good. Don't ever fucking do that, by the way. It's bullshit. And anybody tells you that, fuck them. Okay. Straight up. It does not work. It was bullshit. I hated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only had like 20,000 followers at that time. And I only, as a personal trainer and even starting business coaching. Like I've only grown to the level that I am now in the last like 3 years. Wow. 3 years, 4 years. And we've been in business for like almost 9.
Nice. So most of your followers now, they're from the content creation that you currently have.
Yeah.
But you have the foundation already. And this is what I want to stress. There's a lot of people out in social media that tend to not prove themselves, but already talking about proving themselves. You know, you're talking about that. You've proven yourself. You were a online coach. You had the clients, successful business, and now it's time to create the content, right?
Dude, and like there's a fine line. Okay, there's a fine line. If you have experience and you've been in the game for a minute, talk your shit.
Okay.
Right? Like if you've been a coach, if you've been a PT, if you've gone through a transformation yourself, at least talk your shit.
Yep.
But I'm very bullish in the aspect of I will rip you to shreds if you talk about things that you shouldn't be talking about. Yeah. And dude, I do it with our clients. Like if I bring you on as a client, all right, because there's in our business PT Domination where we help fitness coaches and personal trainers grow and scale online, Brian is marketing. My boy B has always been front end marketing because when he started the business, I was still running our fitness business when we started our business coaching business. So I was back end, delivery, coaching calls, building the fucking site, everything else. He was front end. So we just kept it like that the entire time because it worked extremely well. He's the face of the business. So if he brings somebody on and then you come on my coaching calls and I review your content and I'm sorry, you're fucking fat. You have no track record. You haven't done a transformation. Yep. I'm going to rip you to shreds in front of everybody. Yep. And I'll do it on a call with 70 people there because you need a track record. I'm about walking the walk. We've only ever walked the walk. Brian and myself don't talk about things that we haven't done. Yep. We built a multi-6-figure fitness coaching company before we got into fitness coaching where we promise we can help you hit 10K a month. Our promise is not we can help you hit fucking $1 million a month because we've never done that with somebody before. Now, I can get you to $100,000 a month because we've done it with 9 people, proven track record. Yeah. We've got all the screenshots and the fucking breakdown around it. But it's because we've done it. Like I'm a walk the walk type of person. I think it's needed because you can't talk about something that you don't know. Exactly. And unfortunately, in our industry, business coaching industry, fitness coaching industry, your guys' industry, there's a lot of people that talk their shit when they should be shutting the fuck up.
Exactly. It's all about walking the walk and then talking the talk. That's how I feel. Prove yourself, set up the foundation for what you're going to talk about. Know what you're going to talk about. You guys have been doing it for a while. So your guys' company right now, let's talk about that. You have 2 different companies?
Technically, yes. So PT Domination is our main company now. It's our business coaching company for personal trainers and fitness coaches. And now we also own the gym, which is Aesthetic Nation, which is full circle. It was our fitness coaching company. Yeah. When we bought our gym, which was originally Iron Energy back in the day, we wanted to call it Aesthetic Nation, but our old partner said no because they didn't want to be attached to our name. Yeah. But when we phased out the old partners, and now it's just Brian and myself, it is Aesthetic Nation Gym. It's a 14,000 square foot gym in West Kelowna, British Columbia.
Nice. Open for the public?
Oh yeah, bro. It's fucking popping off. We've been going for the last 4 years with that gym now. Nice. When it was called Iron Energy, we actually had a big uproar because when the vid hit Canada and they tried to shut all the gyms down, we basically said, fuck you. Yeah, you guys and we started a huge movement being like, we're not closing our doors, because if I can go to the casino and gamble, why can't I go to the gym and train?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So you guys have the gym and then you have PT
Domination.
PT Domination, which focuses on personal trainers.
Yeah, that's the main business.
How to grow their clientele.
Everything. We literally teach you. If you're already an established coach with a good social media following, we can help you. Or if you're just starting, you have fitness knowledge and you have no idea how to utilize social media, we can help you. We've had 7,000 coaches go online through our program. We currently have, again, between 1,400 and 1,600 active clients across 4 levels, because we have an onboarding group, level 1, 2, and 3. They just teach different things because we separated the information. And we've had 356 coaches, if I'm not mistaken. I might be over or under by a couple. I got to look at the count, that have hit $10,000 organically online.
Nice. Yeah. Success stories for days.
Oh, bro, it's fucking insane.
And this is cool. The fact that you guys are from the top, I like to see it like this. Like, you guys are helping, let's say, 7,000 fitness customers. How many people are they helping?
Bro, that's why we did it. That's literally
how many. You're like targeting the person that's going to change.
That is exactly why. People ask us all the time, like, well, why did you transition from fitness coaching to business coaching if you love fitness coaching so much? Well, first and foremost, there's only so many ways I can say eat your fucking food before I want to punch you in the face. Love you to death. Love you to death. I'm starting up fitness coaching again. All right, I'm actually creating an app and everything to create that ladder, because I do love it. Fitness saved my life, saved my business partner's life. He used to deal with addiction as well, right? But business coaching, I can help more people, and that's the goal for me. Because if I can help 10 trainers all get 100 clients, I'm indirectly helping a fuckload more people. And it only gets bigger. Dude, we have clients in our program right now. Shout out Janelle, not even a client of ours anymore. She's actually one of my head coaches. She's my right hand. She used to be a client. Now she's my right hand who helps me run all of the coaching side and the retention side of our business. She has 6,000 clients, bro.
Wow, just her?
6,000, just her.
That's insane.
Right? Wow. So just by teaching her a strat, her implementing it and doing it, we're indirectly helping 6,001 people based off of her as well. Yes. So like the ripple effect that our company is starting to create is insane, because it's also not just those 6,000. It's those 6,000 families, bro, and friends and coworkers and people around them. And like, that's the purpose. It's the ripple effect. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we here for? What are you trying to do? And we're trying to really leave our dent on this world.
I love that, man. I love that you are affecting 6,000 families. Say Janelle, you said her name's Janelle, right? So she has 6,000 clients. Now those 6,000 clients are going to be present
bro,
with those families.
Yeah.
Ready to go. And you're starting from the top. Mm-hmm. You're starting from top all the way down. That's awesome, man, what you guys are doing.
It's my favorite thing in the world, dude.
I love it. I love it.
Not to mention they're making money.
Yeah, and you're making money.
And they get to live financial freedom, and they like to spend more time with their fucking families. Yeah. And they get to be present with their kids, like everybody wants to talk about. Yeah. Like, there's nothing better than teaching a family how to make money so they don't need to go to a job they hate.
Exactly. I agree 100% with that, man. Let's talk about your content creation, because that's literally like how I like to see it as like a top funnel, right? It's what attracts. It's direct. It's what the world needs. You remind me a lot of Andy Frizella, the way you guys deliver content, the way you guys are upfront. You know, I've been following Andy for 7 years. He helped me scale my business, and not even directly, right? Just consuming his content, and not only me, but my team. So I don't know if you're familiar with his program, 75 Hard.
Yeah.
So my team's done it, and I buy by my team. Like, we're the best team in the world because of that. Because we all have the same values. We know what we stand for. We're physically fit, mentally always learning. That's why we were able to scale our company. Now, all this is because of what he's putting out, the content that he's putting out, the message, consistent message. And you're doing the same. You're doing the same. Your delivery is upfront, no BS, just straight to the point. What motivated you to start that? Like, what motivated you to just be like, you know what, this is me?
Yeah.
Fuck anything else. My message is going to get across.
Well, and that was the funny thing. So I tell the story all the time. When I first started fitness coaching, I had a muzzle. And like, my
muzzle,
boy.
like you weren't.
Yeah, I
you
wasn't.
didn't wanna talk.
No, I didn't. It's not that I didn't want to talk. It was that I wasn't technically allowed to talk. And this is where it's like, I'm always careful about how I explain this because B wasn't trying to fucking hold me back. But at the same time, when we were in Calgary, Alberta, we had a lot of people that would nitpick every single thing that we said. Like, bro, when I want to talk about like haters in our original city where we started fitness coaching, there are people that have highlights on their Instagram that are 100% dedicated to me and Brian. And the whole thing is them hating just because they hate how we came in and took all their clients and saw way more success. And now they're still working in the fucking gym while we're doing whatever we want. So when we first started online, when I first started to create content, I had a muzzle. People were like, Cole, do not fucking speak like that. Don't say that shit because if you do, it's going to fucking pop off. Now, that didn't last very long. All right. And shit started to get bigger, but I didn't start to really be the person you see on social media today until we started business coaching. And I had no purpose anymore because as the fitness coach, I had purpose. My purpose on social media was to post, to inspire, motivate, and to get clients. Now, was I as raw and real as I am today? Absolutely not, because I didn't understand how to articulate myself in a way that was quote unquote acceptable, because I was still trying to be acceptable to a lot of people. So when we transitioned to business coaching, we ended up folding all the fitness side, and I was 100% dedicated to the delivery of our business and the back end systems. Brian was front end marketing.
Okay.
Fuck's the point of me posting on social media?
There was no point at all at that time.
There was zero. Right. So I literally fell into this identity crisis of like, well, what do I do? Right. Is there anything I should be posting about? And then I just kept absorbing motivational video after motivational video, like we all do on social media. And I was like, I like this. So I started posting like random walking videos with sounds over top of it and different things. And people started to like them. And then there's this one video that I found. I'll show it to you afterwards if I can find it. It's off Say Less Lifestyle's motivation page. And there's this guy talking about how you can't share your dreams and goals with everybody. And when I listened to that video, it like broke me. Like I got like emotional. I listened to it like 72 times in a row. I was like, this is amazing. Like I love how a video can make me feel like this. And then I was talking to Julia, my wife, about a certain video I wanted to find, and I was scouring the internet for somebody that was saying this thing so I could inspire the people that were following me on social media. And I'm looking, I still only had like 20,000 followers at the time, maybe a little bit less. And she's like, why don't you just fucking say it? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, say it. She's like, you do 30 coaching calls a week, speak to hundreds of people in PT Dom. You're inspiring coach after coach after coach, talking to all of these people, giving strategies on strategies, and you don't say a fucking thing on social media, babe. She's like, you are literally telling me verbatim what you want someone else to say so you can create a motivational video. Just say it. So I was like, okay. So I literally went in my closet. I moved the fucking clothes to the side. I pulled up the video. I clicked on fucking sound, and I just yelled into the camera, and I went off about this certain subject. It's 5, 6, 7 takes until I was like, oh, that's it. Put it in InShot, overlaid it on a workout video that I did. Bam, 70,000 views. And I was like, oh, all right. And then I was like, let me play again. So I took a podcast thing of me, or it was actually a training that I did for my community. It was called Tough Love with Coach Cole at the time, because we had a call in our community where I would just go off and I'd fucking rip apart the bitch mindset in our community and tear it to shreds. So I took an audio from one of those Tough Loves and I overlaid it on a training video, 50,000 views. And I was like, okay, people want to hear shit. And then I just started going off, dude. Where I was like, anything that I heard, if you're in my community, you remember one of my clients and you kept bitching and whining, I'd take all your excuses, all your justifications, all your trash. I'd go to my closet. I'd start filming fucking audios and I'd start busting out workout motivational clips, ripping your fucking excuses to shreds. And they just started going viral. And it was just like 10,000 followers, 30,000 followers, 20,000 followers, and just kept coming in like crazy. And then next thing you know, I hit 1 million on TikTok. It's now at 1.5 and plateaued, motherfuckers, because they say it's transition ever since all the traveling. It says that my followers are only active at 1 a.m. now for some reason, but we're gonna figure that out. But yeah, dude, it blew up. 1.5 million on TikTok, 360,000 on Instagram, and it just kept growing because I guess people wanted to hear the rants. Like I was just ranting.
The fucking truth is what they want.
I just pulled it back. I'm like, I'm done sugarcoating. I'm done like hiding shit, because I was already that person. When you saw me, like I was that person with you. I was that person with randoms. I was that person in my coaching community. I was that person on coaching calls. I don't sugarcoat myself at all for my clients. Like my clients know that if they bring up dumb shit to me, I'm going to rip them to shreds. I don't give a fuck if you're paying me money. I do not care. You're paying me to be your coach, not your friend. I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Right. I just needed to peel back the layer and put it on social media. And when I started to do it, the feedback was insane.
Wow. So you were just real. You're like, you know what? I'm going to just put my real self out there. You felt like you were constrained at first. Once you started doing that, it just took off completely.
Oh, yeah. Like it was, I felt constrained for a while because I didn't know how it was going to be perceived. And then once I did it a couple times, I'm like, oh, who gives a fuck what people think? And it helped me peel back that layer even more, because there's obviously, everybody says they don't give, like, there's a lot of people who say, I don't give a shit what other people think. You're lying.
Yeah.
Everybody cares. Yeah. But you build up a certain resilience to it.
Okay.
All right. And you build up a certain level of tolerance to other people's opinions, but that only comes through putting yourself out there. And once I put myself out there enough, I was able to be like, oh, okay. Like now I can really disconnect.
Yeah.
Now I can really separate.
Can you really give less fucks.
Yeah. Now I can,
that
like,
you don't give no fucks, but less.
Yeah.
Fucks,
Yeah.
right?
Way less fucks.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. There's some people that are supposed to comment sometimes, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fuck you up, dog. Like I have box, bro. I'll come find you. Like there's some people that I'm just like, oh, I want to fucking square up with your ass right now. But like, I'm able to really disconnect now because I've done it so much. I understand it. I'm like, it's also not personal. I'm sharing my opinion. You're allowed to share yours. 90% of the people out there are not haters.
Yeah.
They're just people with opinions.
Got it. Okay.
They're not hating on you. You shared your opinion. Why are they not allowed to share theirs?
That's a good point.
Right? So it's like learning how to disconnect now. And just, again, I'm about telling the truth. I have a saying in our community, #hate me. I'd rather tell you something that makes you hate me for either right now or the rest of your life, so you don't hate yourself in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome how you're just real now. I want to talk about that. So a lot of us care a lot about what people think. You talk about the resilience of just practicing over and over. Is that how you built that resilience?
Yeah.
By just putting out content and really giving less fucks as you go.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So that's how it is. Just fucking do the work.
Yeah, because I've always been this person no matter what. Working at Walmart, working at the pawn shop, friends in the past. Like I've always been the person who's very raw, very real, says it exactly how it is, doesn't sugarcoat anything. I'm considered a very serious guy. All right, even when I'm joking around, I'm a very serious guy. So when it came down to social media, it was just putting in the reps. Yeah. You only get better if you do the reps. In anything that you do. In order to get a better squat, you need to squat. In order to get better at running, you need to run. In order to get better at racing, you need to race. Like there's no shortcut to becoming good at the thing that you want to do. You just need to fucking do it. And now I've posted 2,600 times on Instagram alone. Not to mention TikTok, Threads, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Snapchat, or any of the live streams I've done, Facebook posts that I've done, stage events that I've done. Like, dude, I speak in front of people for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours on a daily basis. So it's very easy for me. I'm also not afraid to be human. Yeah. Like I literally didn't even ask you if I could swear on this podcast because I'm going to anyways. Like this is who I am. I'm stuttering. I say, I'm not worried about taking breaks because I don't care about your opinion. This is who I am. Does that make sense?
Total sense. Like you've accepted yourself.
Yes,
this is who I am.
I'm so disconnected. Like I might not have been the college graduate or the university graduate, and I don't need to be. I'm comfortable with my skin.
Still successful through all that, and you give hope to a lot of people like that too that haven't gone through that path. I've gone through, tougher paths than you. That you do give that hope. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the content that you're putting out. I'm a fan, obviously.
Thank you, bro.
I consume it. The last one that really resonated with me was the alcohol one.
Which one? Oh, they
talk about the alcohol. Like how build a fucking personality. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, bro.
What the fuck? I don't need no fucking alcohol to like loosen up.
Yeah,
or
bro.
like, just be more fun. Like build a personality.
Yeah, man.
It gave me that extra obstacle. Like, okay, that's what I want to do now. You haven't drank alcohol in how long?
Since October 21st, 2021.
No alcohol at all.
Yeah.
Left it out completely.
October 26th, 2021. Yeah. We got back from a month-long trip in Europe. My wife and I went. We drank every day. Not like copious amount of alcohol or anything like that. Just maybe a little bit more than casual. But it was like we drank like a pitcher and a half of sangria a day. To me, that's not copious amount of alcohol because I used to drink like a whole bottle of Hennessy every 3 days. Like it was. I'd go every liquor store in my area back home. And oh, dude, instantly you walk in there like, yo, what's up, Cole? Dap me up, dude. 100% behind the counter would be a bottle of Hennessy, a bottle of champagne, and a bottle of wine because I'd go every 3 days, bro. Yeah, like fucking, it was on clockwork. So I could polish like a half of 40, and talk to you. Yeah, like you wouldn't even know that I was drunk. Yeah. So when it came down to the trip to Europe, we drank a lot. When I got back, I wanted to do my fitness competition. It was actually the last one that I lost, but I'm like, I can't drink because one shot of alcohol is 9 calories. right? And it's a calorie that does not consume in your body like a regular macronutrient around protein, carbs, and fats. So I'm like, if I drink at all, I'm going to fuck myself when it comes down to getting lean enough, because I needed to lose 30 plus pounds. So I was like, it's going to be too hard.
Yeah. So
I was like, I'm going to cut out drinking for this prep, and I'm just going to focus on my prep. Well, when I hit 30 days sober, I was like, oh, this feels cool. Like I've never been 30 days sober in my life, bro. So I was like, all right, let me see, it's 60, right? So I hit 60, and then it was like, I started to feel very accomplished. So I started to ask myself why, and I started to look internally. Once I hit 60, the question came up. I'm like, yo, can I hit 75? Yeah. Because you see, I've never done 75 hard. Now, does that mean I don't have a crazy routine? No, you fucking know my routine. Yeah. 3 a.m. wake up, cold showers, affirmations, grateful as fucking, no drinking, 2 workouts by 8 a.m. Like, I'm literally doing 75 hard without doing it. But I will never say that I completed it, because I respect Andy too much. And I always said that I couldn't complete it because of the drinking. Like, dude, I've said that to people. I could never do 75 hard because I like drinking too much. So when I hit 60 days sober, I'm like, I got to see if I can do 75. Yeah. And when I hit 75, bro, I was losing it. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, let's see if I get 100. And when I hit 100 days, it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, bro, I haven't went fucking 3 years without polishing a bottle of Hennessy every 4 days. Shit. I was like, then next thing you know, I started remembering things. I'm like, me losing my temper at my wedding, me losing my temper at my boy's wedding, me losing my temper here, me losing my temper here, and me being like, alcohol is the fucking thing that made me reach that point every time. So I was like, yo, like, you might not be a fucking deadbeat alcoholic, bro, but you a functioning one. Yeah. And I just had the realization. I'm like, what the fuck? So was I planning on being sober forever? No. When I hit 100 days, I looked at all those things and I wasn't fucking happy. I wasn't proud of myself. Yeah. So I asked myself the question, okay, whenever you have a thought, a feeling to drink again, you're going to ask yourself the question, what's the benefit? And I did that. And then I was like, okay, next thing you know, I had 150 days and I get the opportunity. We came to Vegas when I was first sober. Dude, we did 9 trips, 6 birthdays, fucking Vegas, Australia, all these different things. And every time people start drinking, I just asked myself the question, like, what's the benefit? And I was like, well, there isn't one. Like, I can do all this shit sober. Why the fuck would I drink? What's the benefit? And then that was it, bro. Next thing you know, I hit a year and I'm like, I'll never go back.
Never, you don't plan on drinking.
I'll never drink again.
Really?
There's no fucking point. Why would I? Yeah. Right? I can talk to you like this, bro. I can drink a fucking energy drink, right? Like what? There's no benefit. It's literally poison in my body. Why the fuck do I need to pick up a beer to have a conversation with you? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
100%. Why do I need to pick up anything to have a conversation? I'll have a mocktail. Yeah. I'm good. Like, I don't need to drink to affect my body right now.
Agree. Mm-hmm. So it's been over, what, 3 years now? Almost 3 years.
I think almost 3 years, yeah.
3 years sober. And no more
crazy,
drinking.
Bro. Yeah, I'll never drink again.
That's awesome, man. From drinking almost every day, you were saying, right?
Dude, days? it was every day. Like, every fucking day I would have a drink, no matter what. And if, like, people can literally go see right now, I've got a gaming TikTok because I fucking love video games. Yeah. And I was like, yo, when the vid hit, I'm like, let me just see if I can make money streaming. Yeah. Dude, within 6 months, I was making $600 a month streaming. And if you go to AMAROK Da Silva on TikTok right now, I've got 47,000 followers. It's a gaming account. I had a little bit of chubbier cheeks because I was drinking every day. And you see me fucking drinking heavy on that channel, bro. Shit. Heavy, bro. Damn. That's just my shit. But yeah, I'm like, there's no benefit. And I can't think of one. Like, I like the taste of alcohol. Yeah. I'm never going to say that I don't. Yeah. I was like an alcohol connoisseur. I fucking love the smell of Hennessy and shit. But when I really look at it, I'm like, what is the benefit? If there's zero, so I'll never drink again.
Right now that you've gone through all these obstacles already, you have a family, you're successful, and you guys are still growing your company. What keeps you motivated now? What I know it's discipline. I know motivation comes and goes, but what is like the big purpose now for you? What makes you wake up? Because, man, honestly, going through 75 hard and the routines that you have, you don't want to do it every day.
Nah, bro.
You have to.
Yeah.
So what is it that is like still pushing you to, like, every single day do your routine, no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, you get it done? So the pushing motivating factor is a little bit different than my daily routine. Okay. I've just hit autopilot in my routine. So it's just it
just happens.
So like, you've already reached the level.
Yeah.
Was it hard in the beginning to get to that level?
Dude, it's fucking like the hardest thing in the world to get there. Like, it's building a routine and a habit that is like things that you don't want to do is the hardest thing that you'll ever do in your entire life. But it does reach a point where you become autopilot. Like,
it's just part of you now.
Dude, I just wake up at 3 a.m. even if I don't set a fucking alarm now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I get 1 hour of sleep. Sometimes my body will just wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? I want to sleep in today because I need to rest. Like, it's not like every day, 365 days a year, I wake up at 3 a.m. Sometimes I do sleep in. Sometimes I do take a rest day. It happens. But my body's built up an autopilot where I'm like, between the hours of 3 and 8 a.m., I do the same fucking thing 7 days a week. It just happens now. And there's multiple days where I'm like this, wrapping my hands, and my boxing coach gets there and I'm like, how you doing? He's like, shit. He's like, how are you? And I'm like, shit. And he's like, yeah, I get it. But
you're there.
We talked about it, bro. He gets up, he just straps on his shoes, he gets in the car, he drives across the bridge. There's days where we talk about it's a rest day. Yeah. And then next thing you know, me and him both show up to the gym and we're like, fuck. Yeah. And then it's like, because it's just the habit now. It's like brushing your teeth. It's like showering. It's like eating. It's like drinking water. Once you do it enough, it becomes your instinct. It's just built into you.
Having a routine, you think it's part of your success?
Dude, 100%. Routine is rooted in, success is rooted in routine no matter what. Okay. Right? But when you're able to do the same thing every day, regardless of how you feel, you become the person you dream of being. Okay. Success is rooted in routine, period. Above all else. But my motivator is that I'm a fucking baby in this game. And I want to etch my name in history in a big way. Like, I'm not satisfied at all. And maybe it's it's something that I need to work on more. Maybe it has something to do with healing. Maybe it has something to do with mindset. Maybe it has something to do with growth. But like, I'm not satisfied at all. Like, I don't think I was successful at all. Yeah. And it's weird because people see me and they're like, fuck you, dude. Yeah. Like, you have no idea. Yeah. But it's like, I truly believe that. And when you surround yourself with me enough, you see it. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the cars. I don't give a shit about the house. I don't give a shit about the money. Dude, I don't even get excited anymore when we get a check. Yeah. Like, we make anywhere from fucking $80,000 to $170,000 a month profit. Yeah. And I'm like, that'll happen. And I'm like, okay, cool. Next thing. Yeah. What's that? And I'm not trying to be that fucking
no, but I get the level that you're at though. I get the level that you're at because you're hungry for more.
Yeah. I'm not grinding for that. Yeah. Like, that's not why I started this. Yes. I started it because I want to create a legacy for my fucking great grandkids. I started it because I truly want our company to have fucking thousands of clients that are all becoming millionaires. Like, I want my name to be remembered long after I'm dead. Yeah. Because when I look at the fucking Roman Empire and I look at people that have really made an impact on this world, they're remembered decades after they leave this planet. And for me, being here for 100 years just to be forgotten when you die terrifies me. What the fuck is the point? Yeah. And like, for some people, that motivates the fuck out of them because they're like, nothing matters, so we can do whatever we want. Like, to me, it's the opposite. Like, that, it fucking terrifies me. It's really weird to me. And it's not like every day I feel like that. Some days where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck everybody, dude. Don't remember my name. I don't give a shit. But I'm like, it's being able to pull from multiple sources is what keeps me going.
I like that. I like
right?
that. Yeah.
Some days it's my kids. Some days it's Julia. Some days it's my company. Some days it's the millions. Some days it's me just wanting the Da Silva name to live on because I'm not satisfied where I've taken it yet. Even though in 3 generations I've taken it from dirt floors in Portugal to $1 million homes. Like, I am the person in our family that has transformed our family's lineage, but I'm not satisfied at the level that it's been set at yet. I want to make sure that we bring it up so high that even if the people after me in the Da Silva family try to fuck it up, they got to do a real hard job to mess with the fucking path that we're headed down.
Got it, man. I try to picture like motivation sort of like a fire, right? We're all born with this fire, and we have to keep feeding this fire. Different types of things, like you said. Sometimes it's your son.
Oh, I like that.
Sometimes it's the money. Sometimes it's changing people's lives. But we always have to keep feeding this fire with different types of wood.
I fucking love that, dude.
Different types of woods. I always try to describe it that way because sometimes that piece of wood that you put up there, they're burned up. Okay, today I'm not really motivated because of my family. But you remember that motherfucker that talked shit back in the day,
bro.
And he put that fucking piece of wood there so I can wake up and fucking go.
That's such a good analogy. I want to do a video on that. Yeah, that's such a good analogy because it's so true. It's so true. When people burn out in their motivation because you're only ever focused on one fucking thing. All right, you want to lose weight. Yeah. You want to lose 50 pounds. You realize it's extremely hard. That motivation, that 50-pound log is going to burn up very quickly. So what else are you pulling from? I fucking love that, dude. It's different things to stoke the fire, 100%.
Always, you have to keep that shit burning through the rain, through whatever it is, dude. And you got to keep it burning. Sometimes you got to bring everything together because shit gets tough. It's a rainy day. You fucking put everything together, put all that wood, and we got to keep burning.
And we have to. I've said it from the very beginning. Like, it's been a weird weird pull for me. Where it's like even Julia and Brian and like my friends and stuff, like they see it. I'm like deeply dissatisfied with the level that we've reached. And it doesn't mean I'm not happy. It doesn't mean that I'm not.
You're grateful, but you're not satisfied.
Exactly. I'm extremely grateful. Yep. Like, and I feel blessed as shit to be in the position we are, but I'm not satisfied at all. And I've said it to Julia all the time. We've talked about it multiple times. Like I've said verbatim, like if I became the soccer dad that did nothing but work on my family and sit on the couch every day, that's a drastic failure to me.
Rather be dead.
I'd rather be fucking dead.
Yes.
I would rather not be here. I would have rather not bring my son in this world and joined up with Julia, because to me, that's not a win.
Yeah.
That's not what I need to be doing as a man. Right. So every day I'm pulling from every source that I possibly can. And even though I'm grateful and I'll celebrate for the wins that we hit, I'm also very quick to move to the next thing. Yep. And sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. Yeah. Right. Like hit 1 million followers on social media. I literally celebrated that for an hour.
That's what it's supposed to.
And then 7 months later, I sat down with it and fucking got emotional. And I was like, who the fuck am I, bro? Like the fact that 1 million plus people choose to fucking follow me to listen to my words, I'm like, that broke me. And I started to fucking break down a bit. It made me very blessed and grateful. And then I was like, okay, I feel that. I'm appreciated. I'm happy. Move on. Next fucking thing. I get a check. We get fucking hit $1 million in May. Yeah. We made $1,075,000. We celebrated for 30 seconds. Yep. We're like, fuck yeah, dope, dapped it up, cool. And then again, around a month later, Brian and myself came here for a boys trip and we sat in the emotion. We're like, that's dope, dude. That's like tight. Two guys from fucking trailers. He grew up in a trailer park. I grew up in a trailer in the country. All right. Who had an idea for this business in a fucking coffee shop in Calgary, who started it in 7 days, like 7 fucking days. And it's grown into this animal. Like, we're just regular people, bro, with an idea. Yeah. So we sat in it, we felt it here, and we're like, this is a cool life, bro.
I love the fact that you guys get the time to like reflect. While you're in the momentum, you kind of don't want to stop
Never.
the momentum.
Never,
like,
bro.
Going, but it's cool to appreciate it sometimes.
You have to.
And it's called victory lap for a reason. I talk about that a lot. It's victory lap. It's one lap. You get 1 day.
Yeah.
And he talks about it too.
I like
24
that.
hours only to celebrate. Feel it. Be in the emotion. Appreciate it. Be grateful. Back to work.
100%.
Back to work.
The problem that people...
We're not satisfied. You want more.
Yes. And a lot of people revert back to their old selves because they spend a week.
Yeah.
They spend fucking 2 decades. Yep. Homie, the reason why you keep getting fat after you lose the weight is because you spent a week celebrating eating shitty food.
Yep.
All right? Exactly. I love that victory lap concept. 1 day. Eat shit for 1 day. And then get back on the fucking treadmill and eat the food you need to eat.
Exactly.
Right? You made a lot of money. Celebrate for a day. Take your family out. Take your friends out. But don't splurge like you a billionaire yet because you ain't got the money for that.
Exactly.
It's like you got to play in your lane. And a lot of people try to play in lanes of other people.
I like that.
Right? Stay where you are. Like, celebrate. All right? Be happy. Be grateful. Be appreciative. But know where the fuck you're going. And right now, like, I truly believe that we are on step 1. Like, I don't feel like we've even climbed the fucking mountain yet at all. And that's why I'm like, all the people we look up to, like Brian and myself, they're like 40, 50, 60. Like, bro, buckle the fuck up. You give us another decade, we did this shit in 6 years. You give us another 10 of grinding, it's game over.
Hell yeah. And you're older. How old right now?
Just turned 30.
Just turned 30.
Yeah.
Damn, you're young still, man.
Yeah, bro.
And your partner, Brian, how old is he?
Just turned 32.
Really? Both of you guys, young guys that started at 25, 26. Business. Congrats, man. That's
Thank you,
awesome.
brother.
And here's through your 20s, you're building this.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like for me, it was at year 30. I'm 34 now. So the last 4 years is where like I really focused on everything.
Hell yeah.
Especially during your 20s, those are the tough years where there's a lot more distraction.
Oh, bro. Well, that was the funny thing too. When we got into business and when we started to do this shit, everybody asked me to go party, and I'm like, bro, I was drinking, smoking weed, and doing drugs at 15 years old.
You're over that shit,
bro. The first time I smoked weed, which I didn't even realize until my parents told me, was at 9 years old in the Hell's Angels house. Yeah. I'm like, I've done that shit, dog. I've done more partying by the time you were 30 when I was a fucking teenager. Yeah. Like, I was rolling with people that you've never seen in your life. Yeah. I'm like, I've done that phase. I'm good. Yeah. Like, I'm fucking, I don't need to go party no more. Fuck the club. Yeah. I'm not going to a bar to spend money on beer to play pool when I got a pool table at the house. What the fuck are we doing right now? Exactly. I felt like I've been an old head for the last fucking 10 years. I just want to relax, watch some shows and shit. Yeah. All right, make some money and have a good time.
That's dope, man. Last thing I want to talk about, and this is something that appeals me a lot, is the dark side. The dark side. You talk about operating, but you learn to balance it. How how do you pull energy from there and don't let it affect other parts of your business, right? How do you do that? How do you manage the dark side?
What do you mean pull energy and not let it affect the other side of your business?
So sometimes we let the dark side consume us too much where it can affect and overflow our families, overflow our business, our relationships, right? So we have to be able to understand how to control it, how to really focus it on one thing or sometimes one freaking obstacle that we have. So focus that energy completely on that. It's
That's a good question.
It's tough to balance it. But I see that you do it well because you have the escape through content creation. Sometimes to like really fucking put it out there and send the message. And I'm sure with your clients, you know exactly when to deliver the dark side.
Yeah.
Like how are you able to manage that?
So I feel like it's a little bit different for me in the aspect of I never get stuck there ever.
Okay.
I'm very good at just letting go and disconnecting. And I think it's been because of the fact that my family grew up with violence, anger being our default emotion. So like when I get angry or when I get violent, I'm like that for 3 seconds. And then I'm right back to being this person again. I'm right back to breaking this down. So like my wife has seen it. I've never been violent with any of my friends, any of my family. I've never touched anybody, hurt anybody, punched anybody, nothing like that. I haven't been in a fucking regular fight for years, bro. But again, like vocalizing, like I get fucking intense very quickly. But again, it's 3 seconds, right? And then I'm right back to the regular person. I'm able to disconnect right away. It's like a flood of emotion out. So like the dark side, being able to channel from there, I don't get stuck at all. Like I remember people who quote unquote like fucked us over, but I've disconnected completely. Like I'll remember it and be like, oh, okay, dope. But I don't operate from the fact of proving you wrong anymore. I operate from the fact of like, I'm going to win so fucking big that every time you look up my name, it makes you feel shit for the fact that you disconnected in the past. And again, some people might not like operating from that energy. And do I have resentment for those people? Absolutely not. If I met them in the street, I'd fucking say hello to you 100%, but you're not coming to eat at my table. Conor McGregor has a quote. He says, don't eat with people that you wouldn't starve with. That's very true to me. I've got 4 friends that I talk to on a daily basis. That's it. That I will actually converse with. There's only a handful of people that I will ever invite to my house. They might even be connected and deep friends with the people that I know. You'll never get an invite to my fucking house because I only allow people in the circle that I feel deeply connected to. And when it comes down to the positive and negative energy, number one, you got to look at the situation you're in. Right? Like if I'm dealing with Cade, there's never negative energy, period. Okay. I'll never let it enter me. If I feel that way, I'll disconnect. I'll tell Julia I need a break. I need to separate 100%. I'm like, I need to move. I'm like, because if I try to operate from the dark side, if anything pops in there, like he'll be affected and I refuse to let that happen. Okay. When it comes down to business, there are certain times where I'm like, okay, bro, like you screwed us over here. And even though I don't wish that you go poor and lose your entire fucking life, I'm going to win so fucking big that it makes everything you do seem significant. Yep. All right? Insignificant. Yeah. And that's a you problem because you decided to do something in the past.
You're not focused on smashing the competition. You're focusing on being so big that they smash themselves, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's how big you want to be. I like that because you're focusing your, I would say, dark energy on you.
Yes.
On like operating on making it positive towards like, lifting you up completely.
I don't even know our competition's names.
Yeah.
Like at all. And that's not even like a cocky statement. That's not me trying to act a certain way. Dude, I literally have no idea. Like people will bring up other business coaches to us, other people in our industry. And I'm like, who? Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
With no disrespect, you just don't.
No, I don't know at all. Cause I spend zero fucking time looking them up. Zero care at all. And if somebody comes into our business and they treat us poorly, I spend less than a millisecond cutting you out of the business, period. Bye. You're fucking my vision, homie. Get the fuck out of here. Yep. And then again, I will say though, that's a fucking notch that I keep on my belt where I'm like, if I let you go, or if you affected my business in any way and I fired you, I got you out, I disconnected from you, you're going to regret it. Yeah. I'm not going to think about you ever again. I'm going to win so big and focus on our growth so much that I'm going to forget your fucking name and you're never going to forget mine. And that's literally the mentality that I operate from. And it's cocky, but it's also like I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Yeah. We've done everything that we've ever fucking said, period. Yeah.
You've proven it.
Everything.
You have the confidence, and that's how you build the confidence. Mm-hmm. You do whatever you say you're going to do, you've been doing it.
So that's how I operate from dark energy. I don't focus on burying anybody else. I just focus on winning. Because I forget somebody's name like that. Yeah. Like as soon as you cross a boundary or you operate from a negative light or you try to drain any of my energy or you try to affect my life, you're gone. And I'll forget you instantly. because I just don't have the bandwidth to remember somebody that doesn't affect my life in a positive way.
And the busier you get, the less shit you put up with from people.
Oh, dude, I don't put. There's zero shit, anyways. There's not there's nothing to give at all right now.
That's it. Shit.
There's not a minute. There's not a day. Nothing. There's zero fucking time for anything.
Yeah.
Anything that distracts me from the purpose is dropped instantaneously. And it's not just the purpose in business. It's my purpose with my wife and my kid now. Like, I have no bullshit time anymore. I didn't have time. I felt like I didn't have time before I had Cade.
Yeah.
Now I have zero fucking time, because any time that is not spent on the business or my social media or where I would like to go, quote unquote, fame wise, goes to them. Yep. Like, if you think you're going to get a minute of my time, there's no fucking way. That's why it's got to benefit me. And that's why it's like, I'll also talk about it in the positive way. You need to be very calculated with how you try to get my time. You are calculated. Yo, I'm here for podcasts. I'm actually just doing some opportunities. You're like, dope, it was good to meet you, dog. Yeah. Then you're like, I have a podcast. I'm like, oh, that's like cool. And then we just got to talking and I'm like, you want to do one? Yeah. And you're like, what? I'm like, yeah, of course I've got time. It doesn't take anything away from me. Right. And it adds value to both of our lives. I'll get a little more content. I get to have some fun in Vegas. You guys have content. We do a podcast. Dope. Zero people get access to my time because it's too valuable. Not in the aspect of I think I'm above people, but in the aspect of I have too much to give to the people that matter. And I would die before I don't give the time that I need to my son, to my wife, to my friends, to my clients. Does that make sense?
Love that, man. That's I love how you're able to put these things such in a positive light. I mean, that's an art that you have. You really
Thank you.
do. Like, for me, it's very hard to sometimes grab these negatives and put them in a positive light. But you have found a way to really look at everything negative and make it positive for you, for your family, for your clients, for your business.
There's nothing negative, dude. That's where I'm like, it's. I think the term toxic positivity is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
There's a positive in every situation, regardless if you can't see it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the saying everything happens for a reason is there for a reason. It's cheesy.
But
right. It's cheesy. It's fucking stupid. But every cheesy saying in the world was created and is stand the last of time because of the fact that it's true. Like, there is a positive in every situation, whether you could see it right now or not. So I try to always find it, and I don't allow little things to affect me mentally ever. Ever. I cut it right away. I disconnect from the emotion. All right. I'll push it into the back of my mind. I'll even dude, if it affects me drastically, I'll do the unhealthy thing and I'll bury it like a motherfucker until I need to deal with it. Because I'm like, anything that throws me off the path to where we are trying to go is not needed. Period.
You see things happen for a reason. And I was, when you were talking about how that you don't party no more. You're like over it. Like, you decided, or life made you drink and all that at your early ages. So now at this time you're present as a like man, and you don't have to put up with that shit no more. Like, you went through all that stuff to be the man that you are now, which is a perfect example.
100%.
Yeah. So I love it, Cole. I appreciate you so much. Last one for me, because I'm an MMA fan too.
Yeah.
I love UFC. Been following him for a while. We have a couple UFC fighters coming into our podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and I want to hear your top 5 UFC, or let's say GOATs in MMA.
Oh, bro.
Top 5.
John Jones is the top.
Yes, sir.
John Jones is the top. Anybody who says John Jones isn't the GOAT is a fucking idiot. He's literally never lost, bro. He's the best. Yep. He's the fucking best, hands down. Yep. Not to mention, homie was doing cocaine and then beating the fuck out of people. All right.
Fucking crazy.
GOATs, I think I'd have to say, so like, again, I'm about personalities.
Okay.
So like, there's going to be some people that probably should be on this list that are not on this list. Connor. Because I'm about personalities, right? Connor's 100% on this list, right?
Same.
I would probably say for me, Connor's number 2. And the reason why is because of everything. Yep. Like, you have to put John Jones as the top due to the fact that he's undefeated and he's done so much, right? But like, I would almost even tie Connor as my number 1, because number 1, I'm a Connor dick rider, and number 2, look at what he's did to the sport, dude. Like, Connor's the reason why UFC is as big as it is right now. Hence why, like, if we're gonna pivot, I'll piss a lot of people off. Jake Paul is the reason why boxing's popular again. If you don't believe in that shit, you're a fucking dumbass. Boxing's a joke. And I love boxing, bro. I box. I box, bro. It's a joke, bro. You do a press conference and you got 2 of these grown ass men who can't say one negative thing. You guys just want to be positive towards each other. All love and rainbows. Let's go punch it. Fucking just talk some shit or something, bro. You guys got the blueprint in Vegas from Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, right? So it's like, you can't deny, dude. Conor's the best. Like, from his fighting style to being able to fight anyone, anytime, any weight, period. Gets choked up by Nate Diaz. It's like, fuck that. I want you again at 170, bro. Like, he's got to be my number 2. Number 3, I think, would be Israel. I love Israel, dude.
Is
like,
he?
yeah, is he?
Yep.
Dude, from the day that I saw him, from the day that I saw him in the UFC, I was like, oh, that guy's going to be one of my favorite fighters of all time. Like his whole style, his breakdancing, the crumping coming out of the tunnel, being able to do what he did, the way that he thought about how to celebrate after he knocked out Alex, I was like, oh my God. Right, then he drops in front of the kid, boom. I was like, oh, fuck that kid, bro.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
I was screaming.
Me and my wife were like, fuck that kid.
It was super funny, bro. And then after those ones, I'd have to go OG, Anderson Silva. Yep. He was one of the main reasons why I started watching UFC back in the past anyways. I fucking loved the Spider, dude. He was everything but his movement, the way that he carried himself, his cockiness back in the day across the board. And then all-time GOATs. So we got John Jones, Conor McGregor, Izzy, Anderson Silva. If I had to pick one more, let me think here. There's so many fucking people, dude. Like I liked GSP, I liked Vitor, I like Matt Serra, I liked all of them, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I like
you
this.
You gotta go for an OG now. You gotta put an OG in your
I know, I'm trying to put an OG in there. I'm trying to put an OG in there,
Yeah.
dude. I think it would either be like, it would be a tie between GSP or BJ Penn.
Okay.
And the reason why I loved GSP's dark side, I didn't really like GSP's like light side, like how good he was. But when he got like dark, like when he got dark against Nick Diaz, I loved that, bro.
Yes.
Like that was one of my favorite fights of all time, where he's like, "Fuck you." Like you saw like the oh yeah, bro, I beat everybody, dog. Like you want to play the game.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing. It was one of my favorite fights. But I loved BJ Penn, dude. Like when he used to lick the blood off his gloves and shit. I'm like, oh, you nasty, bro. And he just beat up people and then lick his gloves and shit, like run around the cage. Yeah, it was super cool, bro.
Man,
like the OG days, dog. Yeah,
it is, man. Yeah, I've been watching UFC for a while. We follow them. We sponsor athletes. I think I mentioned.
That's sick.
We sponsored Diego Lopez.
That's so
sick.
sick.
In the co-main event,
dude. That guy's a monster, bro. I already knew that he was going to do really well. I've been watching him a little bit. I love his style. I love his mentality across the board. And then having him come in last minute against T-City, I was losing it because I love T-City, bro. Again, one of my favorite fighters. There's so many people, bro. This GOAT list, I could keep going and going and going. But then last minute, like we're in the arena. I didn't even know he dropped out. And then it was like they talked about Ige. And I'm like, who the fuck is Ige? I'm like looking around and shit, and then I saw him come out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then he came out, bro, with 4 hours notice, does that. I'm like, holy shit, bro. I really
thought he was like probably sitting next to you on the floor seats, and then just calls him, all right, I'm gonna go get ready, bro.
I was like, what the fuck just happened, bro? Yeah, it was super cool.
That's the beauty about UFC too. It's so real, right? It's so real. Everything's real, like last minute.
See,
4 hours.
Now that I'm literally thinking about it too, I'm like thinking about all these fighters and shit. I'm like, Gamebred, Masvidal, fucking love, dude. Kamaru, love. Like there's so many people that pop into my mind when it comes down to UFC. I'm not joking. I pull up my YouTube right now, dude, and we look at like content watched. You'll see like 1,000 hours of UFC, bro. I would listen to so many different channels across the board. Chael Sonnen, fucking one of the OG bad boys, dog. Yeah, so good.
MMA Hour 2,
bro.
Ariel Helwani.
Obsessed, dude. I fucking love it.
All right, favorite boxer, last one.
Boxer, dude. See, this
three, man. Three. Give me three.
I wouldn't even be able to give you three, dog. No? I wouldn't even be able to give you three.
Let's say right now, the Jake Paul movement.
It's the best thing ever, right? I'm like, OG would be Mike Tyson 100%. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. I'm like, it's the regular GOATs, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't be able to give you any other names because I love boxing, but boxing sucks dick. Got it. I know that's going to piss a lot of you guys off, but listen, prove me wrong, dog. Take Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather out of it right now. Is there any popularity? No. Does anybody know anyone's fucking name? Yeah, exactly. It's a disappointment, dude, because boxing's way more dangerous than MMA. It is. And people who are actual fighters know that shit. Because you take concussion after concussion after concussion and can get back up and keep fighting. Where MMA, you get leg kicked or they fucking choke you out, you're done. Like it's not the same. It's a disappointment because these people are so good, bro. Like some of these boxers they're beautiful. Right. There's one guy, the fuck is his name? Ben Whitaker, I think. Okay. He's got like a little bit of an afro. Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, fuck, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah. I'm literally pulling my phone out right now on the podcast, guys, even though I probably shouldn't, because of how good this guy is. Literally one of the best boxers I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. And yeah, Ben Whitaker. Right now? Ben Whitaker, he's fighting right now. This is the guy. His name is The Surgeon. Have you ever seen this dude? 2.5 million followers on Instagram. Right? Bro, this guy is one of the most crisp boxers I have ever seen in my entire life.
His style,
bro. It's like dancing. So like
shit,
he'll hit
fun, yeah.
and then he'll flow like this and then slip you and hit again.
Yes.
Are you,
fun to
bro?
watch. He smacks the back of the head,
Bro, yeah, that guy, dude. I'm like watching him. It's insane. But then again, you watch the press conference and they're fucking.
Yeah,
bro. Why do you think Jake Paul's been able to come in and make what 400 million?
Yep.
In what 4 years?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we talking about? I think it's the best thing to happen to boxing ever.
It is.
Because it's brought in billions of eyes, not millions, billions of eyes over the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Dude, he's got 24 million subscribers on YouTube alone.
Shit.
Alone. Not to mention his Instagram, his TikTok, or anything else. Not to mention the fighters that he brought in.
You're right.
All right?
Yeah.
You look at the top 10 people that he's fought. Go look at the top 10 any other boxer in the world ever.
Yeah.
They're scrubs, bro.
Yep.
Why? Because they were a scrub.
Yeah.
Jake Paul just came in and fought Tyron Woodley, one of the best welterweights in history through the UFC, bro. Can he box? No. Can Jake box? No. What do you fucking mean, bro? Yeah. Is he good? Yeah, but he's not a fucking Floyd boxer yet. It's the dumbest thing ever, dude. But the thing is that you have a bunch of OGs who've been in the sport for 10 years that don't understand marketing. And it's the same thing as the coaching industry. Exactly. I say this to fitness coaches. Motherfucker, you're not a fitness coach. You're a marketer. But the thing is that you want to be the coach. Yeah. And this is why you have PTs that have been in the game for 20 years that are broke as shit, working a good life, living in an apartment. Because you don't want to put yourself out there and learn how to market yourself. Yeah. You don't need to be as outlandish as Conor McGregor or Jake Paul, but you need to learn how to market yourself. If we had boxers nowadays do what Jake's doing, bro, the sport would be insane, dude.
And this is the good thing about the UFC. If you see, they're building personal brands per fighter.
Right?
Every fighter has their YouTube channel, so they're building personal.
And then UFC embedded, bro?
Yes.
Holy
they take you
fuck,
behind
bro.
The scenes, like, their marketing team is amazing. The way they deliver the content is crazy.
It's the best.
And they teach their fighters too how to grow their personal brands. So they're building all this.
Dude,
an empire.
What was it? The last fucking crazy fight with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney.
Yeah.
Right? Number one, what the fuck? I don't think anybody saw that coming. I was blown away, bro. Beat the fucking brakes off him, right? But the cool buildup is Devin starts coming out with YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Right? He only came out with 3.
Yep.
How long was your camp?
Yeah.
Fucking 16. I would have watched every single fucking video, bro. Because when I started watching, like, that's what I want to see.
Yes.
Show us you. Show us the emotions. Show us your feelings. Show us your thoughts. Show us the training sessions. But they don't.
And you gain more audience like that. You gain loyalty.
Yeah,
like
bro.
That. You gain people want to follow the journey, see you
bro.
At the ring at the end of the day.
100%.
You were vlogging your fight too, right?
Yeah, dude. We did a whole fucking road to the fight.
Sick.
Literally filmed everything. We filmed the workouts, the training sessions, the sparring sessions, the back end sessions. Got to Vancouver, vlogged me going to the venue, walking around, speaking to the guy, doing the fight, because it's like that's what people want to see, bro.
Yes, that's what I want to see as a fan, as a consumer of content. Like, I want to see that, so I can get more emotion attached to your journey.
100%.
Gain loyal fans, loyal customers, whatever it is for your personal trainers. They gain loyal clients.
Dude, everything. Emotion is the driver of every piece of success in this world. Emotion is the driver of everything. Nobody buys anything without emotion. Nobody makes a decision without emotion. Yeah. Nobody does anything without emotion nowadays, period.
Everything's emotion.
So if you can't trigger emotion in other people, you are losing. You are not getting the full benefit of what you're trying to do. Yeah. And if people, especially in boxing, just learn how to do that, the industry would be drastically changed. I think the Jake Paul movement is amazing. Yeah. And I think it's the best thing to ever happen.
Ryan's taking a note out of his, that's what he's doing too. Ryan's like he triggers either anger, funny, whatever it is, any emotion, he's triggering it. That's why he's probably the most top paid boxer right now.
100%. Dude, you just made what? 70 million the last fight? He made, I think if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong with these numbers. He made 40 to 50 million just on the fight alone. Then he made a $12 million off the bet that he made, which is fucking wild, bro. Wild.
That's
to
crazy.
Do all that, then bet on yourself and then knock him out is wild, bro. Like they said that he popped for Austrian and shit. So he paid 2.5 million in fines total.
What?
Don't even make a dent, dog. He's like, all right, yeah, here you go. Sounds good. So, like, if you did that shit, if people just put themselves out there,
and
boxing would be the biggest sport on the entire planet. Why? Because it's also easier to get into.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that you got to do.
Yeah.
Right? It's also like, again, it's like kickboxing. I can't name one fucking kickboxer right now, but that's where Izzy and Alex came from.
So fun to watch.
Muay Thai. I can't name one fucking Muay Thai fighter right now because they're not putting themselves out there. No, don't get me wrong. Those aren't my sports. Yeah. But if they actually started putting themselves out there, I would watch.
Yes.
This is why WWE is so big.
Yep.
Because it's fake.
Yeah.
But it's hard movements, and these guys are loud as shit.
Yes.
This is also why Logan was able to come on the scene and take over the entire WWE.
Crazy, man.
Because his personality is through the fucking roof. Yeah. And he's athletic, and he's strong, and he's muscular, and he's got a personality.
Those guys are real athletes. Like, they're freaking. I seen Jake Paul's calves. Goddamn.
Yeah, bro.
Calves that big.
They're big fucking boys.
Big dudes, man. And they can fight, man. They've wrestled. I think I've been following their journey too. So it's pretty dope to see, man. Yeah, man. That's cool. We have a lot of things in common.
Yeah, bro.
I love it, man. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Last thing that I would like to just say to everybody, and I usually say this at every podcast, is take quicker action if you want to see success. All right, we were able to build a multi-million-dollar business, $10 million run rate. All right, we were able to do everything that we did in the last 5 years because we jumped out of the plane and built the parachute on the way down. We had no idea what the fuck we were doing. When we started PT Domination, dude, Brian was like, okay, I'm going to build the entire webinar and the marketing system in the next 7 days. You need to build out the entire website, all the videos, break it all down, brand it. We're going to launch it in 7 days. I'm like, I had no idea how to do anything. He had no idea how to do anything. We had the idea. We took action on it. Filmed 45 videos. I built the entire system on ClickFunnels. He built up the webinar, did the webinar. We sold our first 37 to 120 clients like that. And then it just exploded because of an idea in our brain. We didn't ask for permission. We asked for advice after it was done. So it's take quicker action always. It doesn't matter what you want to do in this life. It doesn't matter what you're currently struggling with. Take quicker action. Just put your fucking shoes on and start walking. If you end up in the wrong destination, cool. Turn around. Pivot, go in a different direction, but not walking because you're over analyzing the path to get there is stupid. Like, I have no idea how to get to the Rio right now from here if I was to walk, but I can kind of see a path. If I start walking, I might hit the highway and I might have to turn left and take an extra fucking 800-meter walk to the left. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get there. I just got to keep moving forward. But a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, I have no idea how to get there, bro. So I'm just going to look at the fucking path and not ever take a step forward.
Love it. Success loves speed. Love it, man. And keep moving forward.
Always.
Cole, thank you so much for the opportunity. Oh, man, we're super stoked about this one.
Thank you, bro.
Really, thank you so much. Guys, make sure to follow Cole. Cole, you want to share your
Yeah, so we got pretty much everything. Coleluis Da Silva, ColeLuisDasilva is my social media across everything. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, across the board if you want to find me on social media. Main channels we're pushing right now is the YouTube though. So I've got two. One is Coleluis Da Silva. Second one is Wolf Mentality. It's actually a YouTube channel that is partnered with Motivational. Because I've been a licensed motivational speaker with them for the last 2.5 years now. We decided to collaborate, create our own channel. It's popping right now, bro. We just hit 2,000 subscribers in the last like 6 months, if not less. Videos are fucking blowing up. Just producing as much motivational and educational content as we can.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure to follow First Mill. Make sure to follow Cole. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Have a good day.
Peace. There we go, Doc.
Brother, thank you so much. All right, guys, so we just finished up the podcast with Cole. Make sure to go like, subscribe on YouTube. Again, share the channel, share the clips, share the reels, share the episodes with your friends. This is a super motivating one, man. It was something that we worked on last minute and we made it happen. And like Cole said at the end of the podcast, success loves speed, and that's exactly what we did. We just took action. We took action and we were able to land this interview. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys.